In the heart of a dense forest, a seasoned hunter named Jossam and his 12-year-old son, Daniel, embarked on their annual hunting trip. The forest was teeming with wildlife, and Jossam had taught Daniel everything he knew about tracking, trapping, and surviving in the wilderness. Daniel was eager to prove himself and help his father in their shared passion. As the morning mist began to lift, Jossam and Daniel came across a perfect spot to set their traps. Jossam meticulously showed Daniel how to set the traps, explaining the importance of patience and precision. Once the traps were set, they decided to split up to cover more ground. Jossam reminded Daniel not to wander too far and to meet back at their camp by noon. Hours passed as Daniel roamed the forest, observing the traps and learning from the environment. He found one of the traps empty and decided to check on another nearby. As he moved deeper into the forest, he lost track of time and direction. When he realized he was lost, fear began to creep in. The trees loomed tall and unfamiliar, and the silence of the forest was now daunting. Determined not to panic, Daniel tried to remember his father's teachings. He knew he had to find his way back, and giving up was not an option. As he ventured further, he encountered his first challenge, a large, menacing wolf. The wolf's eyes glinted with a predatory hunger as it circled Daniel. Remembering his father's advice, Daniel remained calm. He picked up a sturdy branch and, using it as a spear, managed to fend off the wolf, striking it on the nose. The wolf, startled and hurt, retreated into the shadows of the forest. Relieved but still wary, Daniel continued his journey. The forest seemed endless, and just as he began to lose hope, he stumbled upon a river. He knew following the river could lead him back to civilization. As he followed the water's edge, he heard a rustling in the bushes. Out emerged a wild boar, its tusks gleaming in the sunlight. The boar charged at Daniel, but he quickly climbed a nearby tree to evade it. Using his slingshot, a gift from his father, Daniel aimed carefully and hit the boar with a sharp stone. The boar, disoriented and hurt, fled into the underbrush. Daniel climbed down, exhausted but resolute. He continued along the river, which led him to a clearing. In the clearing stood a massive bear, drinking from the river. Daniel knew he couldn't outrun or outfight the bear. He remembered his father's stories of how animals respected confidence. Summoning all his courage, Daniel made himself appear larger, waving his arms and shouting. The bear, more curious than aggressive, observed him for a moment before lumbering away. Feeling a mix of relief and triumph, Daniel pressed on. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the trees, he came across a small hut. Smoke billowed from the chimney, and an old woman stood outside, tending to a fire. She was a witch doctor known to the local villagers for her wisdom and knowledge of the forest. Seeing the boy's disheveled state, the witch doctor invited him in. Daniel explained his predicament, and the witch doctor nodded knowingly. She prepared a herbal tea, and after Daniel drank it, she gave him clear instructions on how to find his way home. She also gave him a small amulet for protection. With renewed hope and a clearer sense of direction, Daniel followed the witch doctor's instructions. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, he finally saw familiar landmarks. His heart leapt with joy when he spotted the campfire his father had lit, hoping for his son's safe return. Jossam, worried and anxious, embraced Daniel tightly when he appeared at the edge of the camp. Daniel recounted his adventure, and Jossam listened with pride and relief. The boy had not only survived but had shown remarkable bravery and resourcefulness. That night, as they sat by the fire, Jossam knew that Daniel had truly become a hunter in his own right. The forest, with all its challenges, had tested him, and he had emerged victorious.